Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the world of the International Fabtalks. Fabtalks is all about connecting with unsung heroes, the right kind of celebrities who have the right message for you and for me. When we meet such special people who really want the very best for each one of us, then that day is a beautiful day for us on the International Fabtalks. And I'm sure when you view this video, it would really be very inspiring for you as well. Join us, friends, to welcome our celebrity and guest. He's joining us all the way from Chennai, a wonderful person. We'll get to know more about him in depth in just a few minutes. Now you join me to welcome him. He is none other than Immanuel Selvakumar, joining us with a good heart, with a smile on his face, and lots of love to share with each one of us in the right way. Hello, sir, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much.
My pleasure being here. Hi.
Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Thank you for taking out time. And I'm sure we are going to be inspired by you. We've heard a lot about you. There are lots of positive feedbacks across India and across the world. You've been connected not only with Indians, but people from different nationalities. With your permission, I go ahead and share your profile and then we begin the session. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, madam.
Thank you, sir. Friends, now I go ahead and share sir's profile to get to know as to who sir is. I want all of you to have little insight before we begin the session, what sir is all about, and his entire journey till date. What is he into and why is he into all these beautiful things, wanting to connect with you, wanting to counsel you, wanting to guide you in the right way. Let's get to know more about sir. Now, friends, as I earlier mentioned, he's joining us all the way from Chennai. He is none other than Immanuel Selvakumar. He's a wonderful person, a warm, down-to-earth person. That is the first time when you meet him, he's having that soul connection with you. You could just open up to that person, speak to that person. He will be there with you to guide you in the right way. He's a certified professional trainer. He's been certified by IIPE Canada and a certified counselor as well, a wonderful therapist, a great coach, NLP master practitioner, and a great keynote speaker. Apart from that, I'd like to add more to Sir's profile. He has more than 10 years of wonderful experience, having global recognition of training more than 42 different nationalities. I mean, people from different nationalities have been connected to him with regard to the training services that he offers. And he focuses in specialized areas like changing behaviors, instant rapport, and achieving excellence, etc. Now, as I earlier mentioned, he is focused mainly on learning and development. He's been connected with multinationals, multiracial settings, etc. He travels widely across the world and enjoys working with students, youngsters, and all level of employees, from the top management all the way to the operators level. Throughout his career, he has held various management positions. For example, training head, training manager, and lead trainer, research and development analyst in multinational high-tech global training corporations, as well as in Indian companies. Sir has facilitated and trained over lakhs of students, thousands of teachers and principals as well, and trained hundreds of corporate individuals and parents by designing and delivering 50+ training programs for teachers, more than 300 camps of leadership, study skills, and life skills for students, close to 100 self-realization transformational programs for youngsters. That is your self-esteem, if I could put that right. And he's focused on various seminars and has been connecting, he's been able to connect with more than 1,800 transformational and motivational seminars across the globe with different people from all age groups. And that's what I could put that, if I'm putting it right. And across India, Malaysia, UAE, Qatar, Oman, Jordan, etc. Sir has shared his expertise and knowledge with regard to training and improving you in the right way. Mr. Selva has a privilege of training more than 4,000 youngsters in a week-long workshop powered by the government of Malaysia. He raised his bar by training almost 151 Indian politicians. Guess on what? On leadership skills, communication, and above all, emotional intelligence. This is the most important part. Whatever Sir does, whatever Mr. Immanuel Selvakumar does, he does it with dedication and with complete passion. This is what will make us connect and bond with such people who do it with passion, who do it with dedication, who do it with consistency. Let's celebrate Sir's life on this platform and get to know more about him, how you could benefit and how I could benefit from his presence today on the International Fab Talks. Before we go further ahead, I'd like to wish all the fathers out there, including you, sir, a happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, sir, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much for being here today with us. Many of your friends, relatives, and your clients, the students who are connected with you, parents and different organizations from different countries, they would love to know who is the real Immanuel Selvaraj. They want to hear it from you on this platform.
Wow, that's great. Thanks for this opportunity, and I'm very glad to meet you right now. And the way you introduced me, I really feel honored. Thank you. Great. And let me go ahead with this now. Selvakumar, like myself, born and beaten up in Chennai. I said it right. Born and beaten up in Chennai. 90s kids, Indian child. Obviously, that's what actually happens here. And myself, you know what? I am dyslexic. I cannot read or write, so you can imagine how my school life would have been. When I was in my school days, my teachers was not aware of this syndrome, and only way we get what to say separated is like performing kids and poor kids. That's how they separate us. And obviously, as I grow up, I felt something to do for the students or kids suffer outright there inside the school, but they are not able to perform as much as the better performers. And that is what made me a trainer. And that's how I came up. I just want to help out people like me. And that actually dragged me everywhere. And the later I got to know every place or it could be any field, it could be sports or it could be technology or wherever, there are people like me. Still, they are shining, but they just need a kind of boost. And that is me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing all of that. You've been so open like a book. You've been sharing about yourself, your journey, right from the start of your school days. As you very rightly mentioned earlier, during our school days, we were segregated into good and poor students. You know, the good students, the ones who study and the ones who don't write and don't read and etc. like that. But today people are quite aware of it. And I'm happy that you have overcome all the challenges so brightly. And today you've inspired so many students. You made many teachers and principals aware of the truth and reality with scientific proof, if I'm not mistaken. Now, sir, we'd like to know, how did you decide to enter into this field to create awareness among, the educational sector, or in that space where teachers always point out and blame the student for not performing well? Which was that day that made you change your mind or maybe take up this challenge that I'm going to inspire others in the right way?
That's great. I got failed in my sixth grade. And when I walked into the classroom, a new academic year, but with old set of books, and when I studied one entire year with my own younger sister inside the same classroom, there are many instances I came across in my life like this, so maybe any of this moment might have pointed me to do this. And one thing I want to tell you, basically, what, every profession, two set of people will be successful. Number one, who want to be so, for which they prepare themselves. And number two, no matter where they go, this profession will drag them back right there. And other set of people actually struggle to succeed in that particular thing. And I am second. Wherever I go, I apparently end up being support to some. And it took a lot of time for me to understand there is something which I can actually take as my profession and go ahead with. The day I got to know I get paid for talking, that was a kind of a surprise in my life. Yeah.
That's really nice. That's excellent, sir. Now, sir, when you entered into this field of coaching, mentoring people, and you are an NLP master practitioner as well. So, like, what are the challenges you initially faced? See, all of us face our challenges as beginners. So now you have a wonderful, experience of 10 years, 10 years and above. So the initial stages, was it tough or was it easy for you? Because many youngsters out there think it is easy for all of us. But let's know the truth from you. Was it easy or was it a challenge at the start?
Great. It's all about how much you love to be someone. And when I got to know about NLP on the very first go, I was practicing and doing NLP for years without getting a certification, proper certification. And the day I I started searching for a certification, trust me. Then I got to know it is not easy and this is not for me as well. And then I have to work, for which I have to pay for a proper trainer and then to get certified or whatever, and to get the right people and other stuff. The moment when I got my first certification, for a week I was flying on air, and then I got to know there are advanced set of things to get to go ahead with. And then it took for me to complete NLP itself, once in UAE, once in India, and once in Canada, kind of. And this is a kind of an exposure I happen to have, which for which I am blessed for. And to be precise with your question, is it easy or hard to be what? It's all about the time you start. It's all about how much you value your profession, and it's all about how much support you get from the people around. If you really choose this as your profession from a very young age and you started working on it since you are young, then I would say it is quite easy because you will go with the flow. And most of the time, what happens, people get inspired part of their life, for whom I suggest please continue doing what you're doing and make your boat stable in the river, and then you can net something else or fish something else.
Excellent, sir. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, sir, we'd like to know about something called as 5 stones. What is this? It is something unique and mysterious when you say 5 stones. Now, I would like you to unravel that mystery for all of our audience and viewers.
Great, thank you. Five Stones is a training company. We basically focus on 5 skills, and these 5 skills are whatever the concept we go with, it goes with 5 points. The name Five Stones derived from a mythological story. There was a very young boy happened to fight with a giant, no way matching, like physically or skill or based or whatever. And what he actually does is he took a wisdom, he prayed, and then he picked 5 pebbles, and then he slingshotted one of the pebble, which hit the forehead of the giant, and then he fall his face off to die. And this is actually a symbolification of no matter how huge your fear is, how huge your difficulty is, how huge your belief system is, you can just knock it down with one of the stones among these 5. And we have those 5 stones. That's what we actually want to let them.
Wonderful. That's really nice. Very impressive. Now, sir, we want to know something called as focus on shameless. Like, what is this all about? We've heard much about it. Now, we'd like to know it from you.
That's great. Thank you. It's actually, when I talk about my life, I'll tell you how this word shameless came from. I was in a place called Annavaram. It's a village in Andhra. I was doing a session for 10th grade people who were about to appear for the public exam. During the break, they were allowed to come to me, discuss about the doubts what they had, what they generally have. One girl, like I'm not sure about her name, she came to me and she asked me, she came with a diary and she asked me this question: Silva, what would be the name of the book you about on your biography? What would you name your autobiography? And I just took a thought for a minute, and then I said shameless. And then she was shocked. Can you explain me how can you call someone? I mean, how can you call yourself shameless? And then that was a lot of reasons for me to call myself a shameless. I'll let you know. And then I asked her this question. You know what? Everyone in this world shameless. I asked her, and what do you mean, Silva? She said, like, your mother is the most shameless. I said, your mother is the most shameless person on this planet. She got shocked. Like, why do you say this? And then I asked her this question. When was the last time you've been rude with your mother? She said last night. And how long the argument went on? She said like 1 hour. And what are all the words you spoke? How was your facial expression? And how rude you have been with your mother? Can you explain me? She said, I'm sorry, I cannot explain that to a third person. That rude I was, and I'm still sorry about this. And then I asked her, today morning, what was your breakfast? She said, dosa with chutney. And what is your lunch? She said, something good, but I'm not sure. I have to check it. I asked her, who prepared this for you? She said, my mother. And then I said, how shameless someone must be after getting this kind of rude words and expressions from you. And she woke up, she made your breakfast, she fed you, she sent you school with a very good lunch, book, uniform, or whatever. I really feel your mother is shameless. And she was in tears and said, Silva, I won't be that rude to my mother anymore. And every one of us have been shameless. And sometimes we have to be shameless for our relationship, sometimes to achieve our goals, sometimes for the world or whatever. That's the reason. That is what Shameless is all about. And the reason I named my biography as Shameless, because if I was not shameless that day, I don't think I would have made what I am right. Every part of my life, I know I have been shameless. I stood shameless for my own self. Okay, let me say this, okay? My sister was ashamed to say that I was her brother because we were studying in the same class. So what happens inside the school was this, no matter what happens, if I am involved in anything, she won't even be a part of it. She'll stay out there, and she won't even put her head up if I'm getting scolded or punished or warned by the teachers or whatever. Like, I don't know you, kind of, because she was ashamed to say that my younger brother is in my same class. And my father was ashamed of me because I know that, because he stopped taking me to his office. All his office members know about me very well, but he was ashamed. My mother was ashamed of me because of that auntie in the opposite door when I failed in my sixth grade. So that is the moment I felt like, if I am going to be ashamed of myself, I my goal is not to achieve great things. My goal was very simple. I want to live one entire day without getting scolding, without getting beaten up, and without getting blamed for any mistakes. And I pray for that particular day, and that day never came to me. And I just want to live one day like normal people, how they live. I don't want to get scolding, beating, or get blamed for anything. And longing for that particular day might have made me a trainer today. So I have been shameless many part of my life, and I'm happy to say that it's good to be shameless, and you know the boundary of that. And most of the time we have to.
Excellent, excellent, sir. You've shared that so well. You even made me also emotional when you gave the story of that young girl and her mother, right? That at certain points of time, we all have to overcome, the ego and come down to certain levels and bond and connect to save our relationships, to save our families, and, to reach a career growth or whatever it could be. So I really like, now I understand the real meaning of shameless. That's really nice. You put it there very well. And you're a great speaker as well, huh? You really you create interest in the listeners as to how they could even give a ear to what you're sharing. And you also are very good at sharing your own personal examples into it, making it more lively, more connectable to the other person. They can relate very well to what you're sharing. Excellent. Now, sir, what I have observed, like there's a lot of bullying going on in schools and colleges. At home also, there's lots of bullying going on, and we lose our self-esteem. And even not only in schools, colleges, and families, between spouses, we are being body shamed. I mean, we will not focused on any one gender, gender neutral, body shaming, and like, so how does one keep up their self-esteem if your own partner or your own family members try to pinpoint out something negative? It really hurts bad, and we start believing it, what they say. The truth is actually something different, but we start believing what they see us in their eyes. So how should we fight and rise above all this and have a high self-esteem about ourselves?
What the question is very sensitive, and thanks for bringing this up. Anything it tend to repeat couple of times over a point of time, that happens to be your belief system, and that is what actually makes us to be successful, and that's what holds us from to be being successful. First of all, I would tell the rest of the people who act the bullies to actually take care, because people actually believe that as they bully they feel better. No, actually their mental health is going bad. I'm not talking about the victims, I'm talking about the bullies themselves. Their mental health is going bad. Every part of their life they need a victim in front of them, because without people cheering them, without people laughing for what these people speak, without people clapping for the kind of the statements what they make, they cannot feel comfortable, and they cannot actually do anything on their own. If you leave a bully alone in the room, you can never see a cupboard like that person. First of all, I would like to warn the bullies, please come out of this. This is equally dangerous for both the parties. And let us talk about the victims, right? Now, the point is very simple. Actually, what happens is when someone bullies you, this person is finding a chance to show that person is superior to you. And what happens? This is what Actually, it happens more in places where you see the racism and casteism. Okay, let us make this point. Bullying is as simple as you look at someone and tell that person like you are lower than me, maybe in terms of race or in terms of caste or in terms of status. So what happens in the corporates is people don't talk about the casteism because there is already an hierarchy. So when you go equal to their hierarchy, when you financially match these people, when you match those people by power as well, that is when they look for some other coin to bully us. It can be a caste, or it can be racism, it can be color, it can be your physical appearance, or it can be whatever. And that is what we have to understand. Somehow, this person is trying to be ahead to me, for which we have to go away before the bully starts, or first of all, we have to start. This is what you're trying to do. You be the boss. See you later. And moving away from that place is actually the better place. And moreover, that is a kind of a nose break for those people, what we can do. This is what you're trying to make. You be the boss. You be the boss. When it happens in the family itself, what we have to understand is once again the same thing. Psychologically, this person is trying to dominate the other person. And all the time when you get bullied, you have to understand this. Some way or the other, I am better than this person. And this person is struggling all the way to show that this person is better than me. This is one thing what we have to have in our mind very strongly. Please understand, the one who is getting bullied is always a better person, and this person is better. That's the reason this person is getting bullied. Please have this in the mind for all the people who are getting bullied. This is what I like to say. And very importantly, your self-esteem is just about you. Maybe we can, in the future questions, we can discuss more on self-esteem. But when it comes to bullying, your self-esteem is all about you. Let us be frank right here. Okay. I know what's my complexion. You know what's your complexion. And there are people who are aware, very much self-aware about the features, the structure of their body, hobbies or faith, or however. We know very much, right? And you know what? We have to understand this. Everyone is unique, and all our features and body features is so unique to ourselves, and we have to start loving it, and we have to embrace that. And it happens for me to talk to the set of people who have got bullied a lot for their own body parts, especially people with squint eyes, protruded teeth, and also a cross nose kind of people. So we gave them half a day of training to accept and to show that their own, what to say, beauty more. For example, people who have protruded teeth, they always to look at people, show your teeth and laugh and tell them, yes, this is me. So people who have crossed nose always do some actions with your crossed nose and tell them this is me. Unless you accept yourself, definitely others will hurt you. Okay, I have to say this. I'll tell you one thing. We know how to accept the parents, right? We accept the parents as they are. We accept our brother and sister as they are. We accept our friends as they are. We accept the society as it is. We accept the politicians as they are, cinema actors as they are. The problem is we don't accept ourselves. The moment we go stand in front of the mirror, we have hundreds of changes to be done. It would be better if I'm little light. It would be better if I'm little down. It will be better if I'm little chubby or little flat. Most of the time, when I go stand in front of the mirror, I put my pants, I tuck my shirt in, and then I pull my tummy inside and check, oh my God, it will be better if it is like this. My tummy is quite a big. This is how we bully our own selves. So when we discuss, like when we learn to accept our own self, I don't think others' word could hurt us like what we do for ourselves. Accepting ourselves is the best way to overcome bullying.
Excellent, sir. Thank you very much for sharing that. Thank you. You've given us a lot of clarity on that, sir. Now, sir, you've been a wonderful traveler as well, and you've been traveling for the right reasons. With regard to your work, you've been, connecting with 42 nationalities, like different people, and the government of Malaysia also has given you a wonderful chance to connect with the people of their country and get trained by you. Now, how did this journey of meeting people other than Indians, how did this journey begin? Because it's not easy to cross Indian borders. How did this magic happen in your life?
Oh, great. It was 2015, I believe. That was my first flight to Malaysia. And that's I call Malaysia as my lucky country because after that, I kept traveling a lot. it was a cultural shock for me, not infrastructurally, but when I meet those people, because I was called to train people who speak my own language over there. But I when go there, they speak my language, but their mindset, thought process, everything was completely different. And for the people whom I was called to train, they are university people back there in Malaysia, and those people definitely work, and their culture is quite different. They never show respect, but they respect us actually more than what Indians do. The respect is not expressed. So when we actually what judge them by their actions or attitude, we may be wrong at the time. And the love what they show to us is quite different. And everywhere I travel, especially, I get to see a different set of people. And the great experience what I had, like when I traveled to Jordan, that was a big experience. I never forget and share that everywhere. And that is a something what I have to share with you, for which you can use that or in any of your future talks as well. I'll tell you. What happens is I finished my session, and that was a quite a very good auditorium. I finished my session, and I was packing the mic and other stuffs. As long as I was packing my mic, my lady boss was talking to a couple of girls in that particular school, and she said, Silva, come faster, these kids are waiting for you. And then I finished my job. I ran down there. I'm standing, that auditorium was like step by step down kind of an auditorium. So I stood on one step ahead. Those two girls are standing. From there, they're not looking my face. They're just bending down because they're, I mean, Islam followers. So that is what it actually happens. And then what happens? They asked my female boss. She's 10 years elder to me. These two girls asked the boss that, is he your husband? And she said, no, he is my friend. We are working together. And then they asked the boss, how your family members sent you here without your family, how they sent you out of your house. And then she had her own explanation. And for a long time, these two girls want to share a word with me. I was standing there for almost 15 minutes. They actually have no courage to open their mouth and talk one word to me. They just stood for 15 minutes and then went out. And this is an experience I had in Jordan.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing that. That's really very nice. Now, sir, you also connected with teachers, with the principals. Like, what kind of training do you focus on when you come in contact with these teachers and principals? Because we've had many of these teachers and principals being very rude. They begin to judge students without knowing the truth or the reality. How the background of the child, was the child happy when the child left home and came to school? There are so many instances where the child or children come from sad or unhappy homes, and they are being judged at school as well with regard to their homework, the way they dress, etc., etc. So what was your training module with regard to teachers and principals?
That's great. So let me start with teachers first. As we train teachers on power of brain, how powerful your brain is. And then we train teachers on the behavioral pattern of children, how the child's behavior, how can you understand? And then on classroom management, and then on rapport building, how to build an instant rapport, and then counseling, how to counsel a student. And also we train students on how to break a pattern. Most of the time what happens, teachers they think that I want to change this child. The behavior, we call the behavior as pattern. But they never find any creative ways to change behavior. For example, one child have understood what this teacher spoke, and the child is not repeating that mistake. They apply the same technique to the 100th child also. They have to understand all the 100 children are different, so we have to come up with something creative to change in every single child's thing. So this is what we train teachers on. And apart from this, we train teachers on study techniques. How can you make their study techniques, studies easy, important other stuff. And very importantly, we train teachers on how to handle slow learners, especially people like me, what they like, how to increase their focus and concentration. That's the biggest problem what the parents and the teachers face. Why do they get distracted? What actually distracts them? how can you get them back, and how can you increase the span of sitting in a place and study. So these are all the things we train teachers on. And we also motivate teachers most of the time. No matter how many trainings we do, teachers are actually there is a reason for all the allegations kept on the teachers, because they actually feel very low about themselves, maybe because of the way they get paid, or maybe because of the way they get treated by their own institution, or sometimes maybe because of the way they get treated by some of the parents, may not be get respect, kind of what they deserve, kind of. So this is the reason why they also express other set of things. So which we boost the esteem of the teachers by telling them, making them understand what is the real pay for a teacher, what is your job for the society and the country. Not a kind of a cringy way, but in a very emotional way. The teacher actually feels great being a teacher. And that's how we train teachers on. When it comes to principle, how to handle a grievance, how to deal with teachers, the psychology of people, or the background of people, how can you learn read the body language of the employees, how to handle the laborers and the teachers and IMAs or whatever. So these kind of things will be taught to the principals.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Now, sir, could you share your experience with regard to the 4,000 students that you connected with? Like, how was this experience? It was a week-long session, and how did this happen? And what was the feedback from the students after you did complete this session?
Wow, that's a great one. Okay, actually, I was working with one of the best training company called Only Success back in Chennai. It was in Nungambakam. And through that company is what I was able to travel to Malaysia. I was taken there. And the reason for why they took me there was those students are Tamil speaking students and they might not understand complete English, for which they took me there. And the moment it happened, the way it started, it was in a stadium, actually, not in a hall. 4,000 people have to get accommodated. It was in a stadium. And the way that they started, it went on for, we trained actually 2 batches there. It went on for a week long, and it ended up with a kind of a self-realization training program. And later we got to know these people have been subject to n number of programs like this. One thing I have to tell is like Malaysian government is actually arranging set of programs for them, yearly based programs for them. That particular year, I was invited there. That's a point. And then I understand this is something good happening there. So some of those people have already experienced these set of programs also, which the feedback what we got from, though we have come across set of programs like this, we never experience something like this. We were able to connect with you all the 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day. We never felt how the time was running or flying or whatever. It was very good kind of. This is the kind of thing happened. And one thing what I felt like being a mass crowd, we were not able to point out what flows individually with the people. Whereas we train people like 30 to 100 set of people, we place coaches for 10 people, and we have a close observation about the person so that we learn their behavior pattern, and then we work on how to progress that. But that was the only thing which not able to do that because the crowd was huge.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing that. You've taken me like on an imaginative session over there. Like while you were explaining, I could visualize myself among those students. Now, sir, you've been working with students, you've been working with youngsters, you've been working with teachers, with principals, with parents, and even here you've been connected with all levels of employees, right from the top management all the way to the operators level. Now, if it is the top management to the operators level, what kind of training sessions do you conduct for these people?
That's great, Mel. So when it comes to, it depends upon the corporate we walk into. We do a study on their particular corporate regarding their performance or falls or whatever. And then it goes, most of the time what happens, the long training program happens with the middle management and the laborers. And whereas the top level people are not that available, to be honest, they're not that much available in one particular place to get connected, so that their training sessions will be based on the surveys and other stuff. So which makes like half a day or 1 day session. And when it comes to middle management, we go ahead with the team synergy, and most of the time these activities and games based on their work based thing. All the reflections of these games and activities will come from their own work spot, work experience kind of. We also design tailor-made courses for that particular set group of people, because every corporate is different, production unit is different, the back office or front office is different. So we go ahead with the need of those people, and we definitely ensure that they enjoy with activities. Definitely, we ensure that they have learnings, and sure we have the reflection, and also we all follow them for next 6 months for the progress. This is how it goes.
Excellent, excellent. So that's wonderful. Now, so you are an inspiration to all of us. Like when you share all of this, when you come from that school level as a little boy who was, not good at reading and writing, now you're a very confident young individual. Now, I'd like to ask you, you being an inspiration for all of us, who's your inspiration? Who did you see as an inspiration or role model? And if you could share that.
That's a great one. That's a great one. Before the inspiration, I would also like to share one thing. When I was in my college second year, BCom second year, I involved myself in the NESS, National Service Scheme. Over there, I was able to attend a Republic Day parade in 2006, Delhi. And as I was there, since my performance was good, my drill was good, I was also given the best candidate award right there. Mr. Abdul Kalam was the um, former president that time. We were able to meet him, talk with him, had a supper with him, and then we came back. As I came back from Delhi, the look of what I got from my college, my own friends, my classmates, and others, that was a shift in my entire life. That actually boosted my self-esteem, and that is what actually made me to feel that I have an authority, my voice have power, and this can actually rule or command someone. And that is a spark what I got at that moment. Somehow by grace of almighty I would able to carry that particular spark for a little longer period, for which the inspiration for me happens like this. When I joined a training company, as I already said, there are people. Mr. Vidya Shankar was a person who bought these kind of Western trainings back here, a pioneer to bring these Western trainings back here to South India. And also Mr. Praveen Sherman. These two people were there. I learned maximum things from them. And there was another woman, her name is Nirmala Nandakumar, and she was my immediate reporting boss who actually trained me personally, hand on hand training personally. So I would call these three people as my inspiration in training. Because like if I speak definitely 10 words, one of those words will be from any of these three people.
Yes, that's really nice. To give due respect and recognition to those three people who are in your life, who transformed many lives, including yours, and has been a wonderful source of inspiration. Now, sir, we'd like to ask you about any adventure that you had, like if it was like quite a dangerous one or it was like a fun-loving adventure. If you'd like to share something with us.
Wow,
Memorable
that's
incident.
great. Okay, since I travel a lot, I got subject to be a lot of adventures, and a couple of them used to be dangerous also. I'll share. Okay, once what happened, I am supposed to travel from Andhra. I'm not sure about the maybe Kadapa, I believe. Supposed to travel from Kadapa to Bangalore. The bus got booked and everything is pakka clean. So since I was training from morning till evening, I'm quite tired. I finished my dinner. I went on to the bus. I took my butt and then I slept. Next day morning, 6:30 or 7 o'clock, supposed to get down in Bangalore because the training over there by 9 o'clock. Already people are waiting there in the bus stop to pick me up for the rest of the things. Somewhere around 6 o'clock, I got a call. I said, like, everything is pakka. I'll reach you people on time. Keep the person who is picking me ready. I am still on the bed, in the berth. And when it is 6:30, my alarm rings. I got up and I was checking where the bus is. So I jumped down from my berth. The bus was actually one side of the road. So I got down from the bus. I'm looking like, where is this? And then these people said, like, we are in Kadapa. I'm like, we are supposed to be in Bangalore, right? And then they said, like, bus started next to few kilometers. The moment they came 4 to 5 kilometers in the bypass somewhere, the bus got broke down. All the night, the bus was kept stable right there in the same place. And I was that asleep, I don't know what was actually happening around. I thought I am in Bangalore. I can go right there. And then I called those people. I happened to cancel the program and all these things happened. And a couple of instances like this.
Yes, sir. That's an interesting one, and I could really visualize you now, finding yourself in that tough spot. That's wonderful. Now, dear sir, what impact did COVID have? I mean, let me put that right. What impact did COVID have with regard to training and connecting with people and all of that? What was your experience? People had very bad experiences with COVID with regard to their financial stability or with regard to their mental stability, with regard to losing people in their family and health, etc. What was your journey during the COVID period?
That's great. COVID actually have separated or segregated every field. Just like before Christ and after resurrection, AD and BD, we also have to mention before COVID and after COVID. And that actually goes true in all the field probably. And training field is one which actually got affected more after COVID because completely uh, no conventional programs are actually happening after that. Even though it's been a couple of years, but still no conventional programs are happening. People who are not that great in technology are suffering a lot as trainers even now. And at the same time, people are very good in technology. Still, they are struggling to sell their points in the online itself. Whereas more source is available online itself. So whereas trainers have to come up with something different, which is not available in the online, and the training society should have a discipline that these are the set of things which is available or the set of things which should be shared only by the trainer themselves. So this is something what missing right now because people were able to travel, but now after COVID, people, the moment when we experience of online set of stuffs, of course, this is comfortable, but not everyone comfortable with what's actually going on right now. And the impact that happened in the personal life is mental health of the children, especially school students, got affected a lot. They got premature mentally because they were kept in one particular room or in one particular society. All they could able to see is only their parents or only their grandparents. They had nothing to learn from their friends or to share with their friends. So they mentally got premature. Looking at their parents, they got matured as much as their parents, and at the same time they got an exposure towards the mobile phone in which they get all contents available right there. And definitely now what happens is the feed what their senses take has been 10 times more than it used to be before the COVID. Now the focus and concentration of the students is very less, and the teachers are struggling a lot. They themselves struggling a lot to sit and study, and anything you give them that could bore them within a couple of minutes. That is the suffering they are going through right now. And that is other way we can able to understand one thing is like COVID have brought maturity in good number of people, and the people can able to take their life really cool after COVID because they know, they understand this is what life is. Anything could happen anytime, and this is what we are working for. And now, good, not everyone, but good number of people have the real understanding about life after COVID.
Yes, sir. Very true. Very true. Now, so what is it that you admire in Emmanuel Selvaraj? What is
Oh,
it that you love about this person?
he is shameless.
So sweet of you.
Good number of times people say that when I speak with you, I don't feel like I'm talking to a stranger. I love that one.
Yes, that's very true. As I earlier mentioned, anyone could bond and connect with you. You have that warmth and that aura, positive aura around you, that positive energy.
Thank
That's really nice. Now, sir, one big question. What is freedom for you? How would you define freedom?
you. Great. Freedom is just to wake up on the time you like to wake up and go to bed the time you like to go to bed. And that is what freedom is for me. And most of the time, what happens? We get freedom when we leave the people depend on us free. And most of the time, we believe that we got arrested. Actually, we get arrested by arresting others. For example, we are holding on to something, and which is actually restricting our motion, for which we have to let things go. That is freedom.
Yes, thank you, sir, so much for sharing that. Before we sum up, one major question. It's not a question, it's a request. What is the message you'd love to give out to all the people? Like if they are facing a similar situation or their children are facing a similar situation of, being unable to read and write or unable to cope with either with their work or with studies or with family stress and tension. What is the message you'd like to give to everyone?
Okay. First, let me go with my sweet spot. Students struggling to study. Let me go ahead with this now. This is not for toppers because toppers must be already following something to be a topper. Go ahead with that. This is not for toppers, right? Good. So what happens is when you use maximum of your senses, you'll be focused more. For which your visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, your feel. These three things doing one particular job, that particular moment, you will not forget it throughout your lifetime while doing something visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. That's one particular job. That particular thing you'll not forget throughout the life. So when you study, please ensure that you're feeding these three senses. For example, you don't sit and study, rather stand and study. You can do a picture diagram on that particular content. If you don't know how to do a picture diagram, don't worry. Already, there are ready-made picture diagrams available on the internet. So just download that. Stand in front of the screen. Feed number one. Sense number one is used. Number two is auditory. You can play a fast beat music. It is not lyrical music, non-lyrical music, not a karaoke, just a fast beat music, which means fast beat music will help you to focus better and finish it faster. Number three, kinesthetic. You have to follow some actions while studying. Don't sit, stand, do some small actions while studying. So while doing this, studying things one time is enough. You don't need to refer the same thing once again. You write your exam. That is number one for students who want to go ahead with that. And for the rest of the world who are going through crisis, whatever you say, all I would tell you is only one thing. That is one perfect word which suits any situation. That word is good. The moment when something goes wrong, just take a pause and say good. And then say what happened. Good must be the prefix of all your problems. Good, this happened. For example, I'm just walking on the road and I got hurt or I hit on a stone. My footwear got torn. The first thing what I should say, like, good, it happened today, so that I can buy a new one, or it didn't happen tomorrow because I'm going to a function or whatever. So the moment you go towards a problem, the first word that should come out of your mouth is good, so that you reframe that particular situation, and then definitely your brain will give a better scenario, a better future for that particular situation. The magical word is good. So no matter what happens, just say good.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's really very nice and interesting. No, I'm going to learn this from you because I always
Thank you.
grudge or always cry over certain things that don't go my way. So good it happened. Could it happen for for
That's
a good
great.
cause? Let's be positive and look at the brighter side of life. Now, sir, before we sum up, one more big question. If you're given a chance to relive somebody's life, whose life you'd love to relive?
Oh my
Just,
God.
just as a task. It's just a task.
Yeah, I
Time
understood.
machine in hand and then ask you to click the button that would take you into the past era. The task is relive somebody's life and return back for a short
Okay.
period of time.
I'd go for Nelson Mandela's life.
Any reason?
I have heard a lot about him, but I never felt how his life will be. And that is the reason. And moreover, I heard that he was suffering nervous breakdown and a lot. And I say his story as an inspirational story to the rest of the people, but I still want to know the pain of that person.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's really nice. We're really happy to have you share all of this, and we look forward to the next session with you. You have a
Okay.
lot of hidden potential and talent. I mean, in 1 hour, I can't get all of that from you. I'm sure if I request you for the next session, you will definitely oblige. Hopefully you oblige. Definitely, no, I could not take that much of freedom
It
with
will
your
be
time.
definitely great.
Hopefully you oblige for the next session as well.
It would be definitely great connecting with you people once again. And I would like to thank you. It's not easy to listen everything as if you don't know anything. And you have done a very good job. And your questions were very pleasing and pleasant. And you actually got things. If I thought I have done something good in this interview, you made this happen. Thank you.
How sweet of you. You're such a kind person. You always encourage others. You always put, the other person in the right place, make them feel comfortable. That's what makes you special. And I'm sure there will be several students and teachers and principals who will be thanking you for transforming their mindsets and rewiring their brain and making them understand the good in everything.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful time. Stay connected. God bless.
You too, madam. Thank you.
Thank you. Romba nandri, sir.
Thank you, madam. Nandri.
My dear friends, do share this video with the right kind of people. Share it with students, with teachers, with principals. You never know who may be inspired and who would love to transform themselves. If you look at transformation, this one video could really help you, to shamelessly love yourself, accept yourself. That's the message I get today for my personal, space. I get to understand that you have to love yourself. You have to be shameless and you have to carry on your journey. That's what sir has shared with us. And one more tip sir has given us: no matter what situation you face, just you utter the word good, it happened today, good, it happened now. And that's how you continue your journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share if you like what the International Fabtalks is doing, connecting with the right kind of people like Immanuel sir, who is with us. And we are really happy that he has taken out some time. He has done it on special request. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Shall we?